Alright, with all the craziness going on in combat sports lately, UFC 300, the lead up to Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, Canelo making his comeback against Jaime Munguia, and then the whole Ryan Garcia saga where he wins in a dramatic upset, seemingly proving everyone wrong, and then immediately both failing a drug test, and then clearing his name from said failed drug test. I think it kind of snuck up on us that, oh, by the way, this Saturday, we're going to see an undisputed heavyweight champion crowned for the first time in 25 years. And in this video, I'll be breaking down exactly that. Let's get into it. Okay, so Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk, which is a fight we were supposed to get back in February. But after Tyson Fury's close call with Francis Ngannou and the nasty cut he got in sparring, preparing for this undisputed fight, it got pushed from February all the way to this weekend, May 18th, which in all honesty is good news if you're a Tyson Fury fan. Tyson Fury, who never really looked like much of an athlete, looked out of shape both physically and performance-wise in his last time out. And he's going to need to be in the best shape he can possibly be in this matchup, since Usyk presents one of, if not the toughest test that Tyson Fury can have at heavyweight. One thing that's quick to point out that Usyk brings to the table that maybe some of Tyson Fury's previous opponents didn't is that Usyk is both a high-level boxer skill-wise and a southpaw. And in the past, Fury has had some of his better, more dominant performances against southpaws. Just look at the fight against Tom Schwartz, where Fury had his classic moment against the ropes where he just couldn't get hit, showing off that he has some of the best head movement that we've ever seen at the heavyweight division. But against another southpaw, Otto Weiland, Fury also had a really tough night out where, despite being able to bounce back and get a decision victory, he also had to deal with one of the nastier cuts we've seen in a very long time in a boxing match, where his eyebrow was essentially flipped all the way over. Now, with that being said, guys like Tom Schwartz, guys like Otto Weiland, the Derek Chisoras, and certainly the Deontay Wilders are absolutely no comparison to what Usyk's going to bring to the table. The obvious comparison with Usyk and those guys is that they're southpaw, and Fury's only fought in a handful of southpaws. But none of those guys can match Usyk when it comes to the quickness, the ability to effectively fence with that lead hand, and then the timing, the speed, the quickness, the combinations, and ultimately the underrated power as well as punch placement that Usyk brings to the table. Now, I know the one weakness that everybody wants to point out when it comes to Usyk is the body. A lot of people, myself included, at least in the moment, thought that was legitimately not a low blow from Daniel Dubois against Oleksandr Usyk, who maybe should have won this fight by knockout. But I think when you look back, that's pretty disingenuous. Yes, Usyk was on the canvas for a very long time, but that's because it was ruled a low blow. Who's to say if the ref had ruled that a knockdown that Usyk wouldn't have gotten up even quicker and continued to do what he was doing for the majority of that fight, which was be the better boxer. In conclusion, I think this is very much a 50-50 fight, with all else being equal. Both of these guys are absolute technicians when it comes to the style that they bring forward in the ring. Both of these guys have elite head movement, great punch variety, both very light in their feet and very mobile. So all else being equal, it's really hard to choose a winner in this one. But all things are not equal. Over his last few fights, Fury's been leaning into the fact that he can lean in on fighters in the middle of fights. Being as big as he is, his game is able to have some diversity. He can pick you apart from the outside, and when needed, he can use his size to wear down on smaller fighters, which Usyk is exactly that, a smaller fighter. And let's not forget that the one common opponent that both of these guys have in Derek Chisora was able to give Usyk a tough fight. While that was Usyk's first real test at heavyweight, I think the second fight between Usyk and Joshua was actually pretty close. When I look back at Usyk versus Joshua too, I actually think that was a pretty close and competitive fight. And I think most people, when they look at this one, think that Joshua made the mistake of trying to outbox Usyk when Joshua's advantage was the size and the strength on the inside, which he spent a lot of time, unfortunately for him, getting away from. When you take into account the fact that Fury is bigger than Joshua and a better boxer, I think he's going to be able to execute a game plan similar to what Joshua was able to put together in his rematch with Usyk, but ultimately be more effective. And if he's able to do that, I see Tyson Fury coming away with this with either a decision victory or a late round stoppage to become the first undisputed heavyweight champion in the last 25 years. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Am I completely out of my mind, or do you see the fight going a similar way? And yeah, thanks for watching.